So I've got the most beautiful chicken and mushroom pie, absolute comfort food, with a little bit of spring onion and mustard, delicious. Get yourself a little knife. So these chicken breasts here, I'm gonna slice these into centimetre slices. I've got a little enamel metal tin, whack it on to a high heat, a couple of lugs of olive oil in there. Get your chicken, put it into your olive oil. Of course, we want to hit that with some sea salt, a little bit of cracked black pepper, knob of butter in the chicken. I've got some spring onions here. Slice up the spring onions as best as you can. I'm not bothered. You know, the great thing about these 30-minute meals recipes, if you're rubbish with a knife, it's all right. If you're brilliant, it's all right. Don't matter. Get yourself a little box grater, the fine attachment, or one of these little graters, and you just want, you know, quarter of a nutmeg, 1 or 2 bay leaves. I'm just going to tear the stalk off of these bay leaves, and a little bit of thyme. And then we want mushrooms. I've got about 150 grams, or a kind of big handful of button mushrooms. You know, pick these bad boys up, get a slicer attachment on your processor, and put them in. You know what I mean? So, mushrooms go in. I'm going to now turn this into like a pie filling. 1 heaped tablespoon of creme fraiche. In at this point is a heaped teaspoon of flour, and then attitude, a heaped teaspoon of mustard. And then 1 of these little tubs of pre-done chicken stock, if you haven't got any of your own, of course, or a stock cube and a bit of water. This is about 300 mils of stock, and we just mix it up. And you've already got a beautiful, creamy sauce. So I'm going to turn it down to low, because I've got no rush now. I'm happy. Some puff pastry. Buy it, pre-done, and then you just put that pastry on here and tuck it into bed and fold the pastry sort of back in on itself. I want it to glaze and look beautiful. So you can use milk or 1 egg. Just lightly brush this pastry on top. Oh, looks very nice. Let's get a bit of rosemary, stick it right in there. Right, in the oven. That is cooked when it looks cooked. The pie, I can see, is done. Let's just move that over. Look at that. Beautiful. I want that for dinner. Down in my little recipe hut, I've got the perfect sharing dish to kick off our Friday night. I am so excited to give you a recipe for an amazing homemade pie. Beautiful, crumbly pastry, chicken, sweet leeks, creamy sauce. This is going to be amazing. It starts here with a chicken. So a nice free-range chicken. What I want to do first is cut it in half. Just hold the chicken, get the tip, cut down the back, and then down the breast. So in a pan, we'll have just a tiny bit of oil. So chicken goes into the pan. I'm using the whole chicken. You get maximum flavour from the bones and the bone marrow, but also the joy of white meat, brown meat, and the sweet meat is incredible. So we've got a second pan on a medium heat, and what I want to do is start frying off a beautiful base to give you the best pie filling ever. For that, I'm going to start with some smoky bacon. Just cut ourselves some little lardons. So into the pan we go, add a little oil, and that is an incredible welcoming party for vegetables and herbs. So we'll start off with thyme, to rip that in, and then base vegetables. 1 heart of celery, 1 onion, 1 carrot, and 1 leek. Roughly sliced into sort of 1.5 centimetre dice. Into the pan. I don't want the veg so small that it's going to disappear. I want to have chunks of veggies. So about 10-15 minutes of gentle frying. So that gives us time to clean down and make the pastry. Add 500 grams of plain flour to a bowl, a pinch of sea salt, and 250 grams of very cold butter. So by grating the butter like that, it just makes it so easy to rub into the flour. Pour in 100 millilitres of cold water and bring it together. And kind of hug it. No kneading, just hugging. That's what we want. And I'm going to just form it into 2 balls. Divide so it's 1/3 for the lid and 2/3 for the base. Wrap them up and flatten out. and leave to chill in the fridge until needed. If you look in here now, we have a nice bit of colour. That means we've got mega flavour already. I want to turn this into a beautiful sauce to stew that chicken, right? To pull out all that flavour. I'm going to use Scrumpy, beautiful cloudy cider. Just a nice little swig goes in. The smell is phenomenal. And we want to cook all of that cider away. Go in with a heaped teaspoon of English mustard, 2 heaped tablespoons of plain flour, a litre of chicken stock, and bring to a simmer. At this point in the story, we've created that stewing environment, and we're taking that lovely, crispy golden chicken, and those bones are straight down into that sauce. So lid on top, and just let it blip away for around about an hour until the thigh meat pulls off the bone, and that will be incredible. This fat in the pan, by the way, I'm going to keep that for a little secret later. So the chicken is done. If I just pull the thigh meat, and it should just fall off the bone. That's what we want. Super tender, super delicious, happy days. Oh. So, meat into here. I have been slicing up 500 grams of button mushrooms. By putting the mushrooms in at this stage, you get really sweet, nutty mushroom flavour. Oh, stir that through. Okay, so now 2 forks and just pull that tender meat from the bone. At this point, the bones have done their job. They've given you awesome flavour. Carefully remove all the bones, add the chunks of chicken back to the stew, and mix through 2 tablespoons of creme fraiche. So I want this stew to do 2 things. Give me amazing, perfect filling, and then also an incredible sauce. And we can have both by one easy little trick that I love. Get yourself a pan, get yourself a colander, and sieve that filling. The sauce will go through it, and you can reheat that later to pour on top of your pie. Put that to one side, and now we can make our pie. So we'll get our pastry out of the fridge, and we'll roll this out so it's gonna line this beautiful pie dish. What I will do is just give a little bit of olive oil to the bottom of the dish and give it a rub. Put your chilled pastry in between a sheet of greaseproof paper and roll it till it's ½ centimetre thick. Add to the pie dish, pour in the cooled filling, and roll out your pie lid. I don't care if it cracks. I embrace it. Look, I'm gonna tear it. Oh no, there's a crack. It doesn't matter. We're gonna just tear it up and put it in just like that. And as we take in the sides, we're gonna create just a beautiful rustic pie. So just a little egg wash. So I'm gonna cook that now for about an hour. Put it at the bottom of the oven. The temperature will be 190 degrees Celsius, which is 375 Fahrenheit, and that will be a thing of beauty. So that glorious pie is nearly done. And I've just knocked up a bit of mashed potato. You guys know how to do that, but what you might not know how to do is make cabbage beautiful. We're gonna do something quick and delicious and amazing. Roughly slice up the cabbage and add to the chicken fat you saved earlier. Cook over a high heat until softened and lightly charred. Add a splash of water, a teaspoon of mustard, and a pinch of salt and white pepper. These 3 things bring out the most wonderful flavour. Just takes your everyday cabbage to another place. So cabbage is done. Our gravy is bubbling away and reheating nicely. And then, yes, that, my friends, is what I wanted. Look at that. Bubbling, blipping, look. Just so good. The Hispy cabbage that is soft and succulent, but it's got the char. Good old mashed potato, always a good friend of a pie. Then we'll get a gravy boat. This poured over the top of your pie will be a joyful thing. Oh, look how flaky that pastry is. I'm very excited. Come on. Look at that, we've got the chunks of chicken, the flaky pastry. That is a slice of heaven. Let's have a dunk mash, some of that amazing cabbage done good, and then gravy. Let's get in there. Hallelujah. You know, using the whole chicken gives you the hyper flavour. Everyone deserves to enjoy a good homemade pie. Guys, what are you waiting for? It's a beautiful day today, and I'm going to show you a lovely, gorgeous chicken pie. It's from my new book, Together. I'm really proud of it. There's all kinds of meals for different occasions. This chapter is called Laid Back Feast. It's a puff pastry pie with sausage, bacon, chicken, and that beautiful watercress sauce is so, so good. I'm actually going to cook it today for my crew. Yes, we're going to feed them for once. Let's give these a little wash and let's get cooking. So, 2 rashers of smoky bacon. Finely slice this up. You don't need loads, right? It's going to give you that beautiful smoky flavour. Render that fat out. 2 chicken thighs, free-range organic. Everything's getting cut up into little 3-centimetre chunks. So get that chicken into the bacon fat on a medium-high heat. 2 sausages. Pinch the sausage out into nice little chunks like that. Brown off the chicken and the sausage in the bacon. Look at that. Season it fairly generously with black pepper. If you wanted to add some herb, what do you like? I've got a little bit of savoury, which I love. 2 potatoes, cut them exactly the same size, 3-centimetre. Every time we add an ingredient, just stir it for all those beautiful flavours and fats. 2 leeks. The white part is very tender, and the green part has seen the sunlight, so it's got more flavour and more structure. It's a bit tougher. So the way I fix that is by finely slicing the green part and helping the cooking, you know, kind of break it down a little bit. And then when you get to the lovely white part, just clank it up into 3-centimetre chunks again. Yes! It smells amazing. While that's frying, I'm gonna have a quick little clean down. The sound that you're hearing is a good one, sizzling. So we're browning off the chicken, the bacon, the sausage, and the potatoes are absorbing all of that lovely flavour. Achieving that colour is achieving like 20% extra flavour. And now we're going to add some more flavour. 2 teaspoons of English mustard and 2 tablespoons of plain flour. So 2, 2, 2, all through the story. Easy to remember, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. We're going to go in now with 500 millilitres of chicken stock or veggie stock. You can see the flour thickening and shining up this beautiful stew. Now, to make a really creamy but simple sauce, add some milk. Bring that up to a simmer now and let it just tick over for about 15 minutes. That simple. This method now is the unusual bit. We're going to use a colander to basically separate the gravy from the meat, the potatoes and the veg. It's going to give you the perfect texture for the filling. So when nearly all of the liquid has come out, pour it into here. Tender, tasty and gorgeous. So let's have a little try of the gravy. Oh, really, really good. So we can take that to another level, not just in flavour, but in colour. Beautiful watercress. It's got that nice mustardy flavour. Pour that gravy on top. Whiz that up for a minute. Look at that colour. You've taken something gorgeous but quite simple and everyday, and now it's exciting. Put most of it in here, and then about 100 mils of it you can put in here. So amazing colour, amazing flavour. Now onto the pastry. We're going to use puff pastry. It's so convenient, it's so good. It's an all butter puff pastry. Grab a little pastry cutter and just do little random sort of cuts, odds and sods. Whatever you do, make it completely erratic. Think patchwork quilt. No matter what you do, it's all going to kind of like cook and puff up into a gorgeous topping. Because there's little kind of gaps, that lovely green sauce will kind of find its way through and blip through and make nice little crispy bits. I love that. If you want to, you can glaze or egg wash your pastry. Just crack 1 egg into a little jar like that. Give it a little mix up and we just brush. Don't trim it. Don't try and be neat. Go with the flow. Joy. So that goes in the oven now for 45 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius, which is 350 Fahrenheit, until golden and gorgeous. Then we can feed the crew. Mighty fine. The crew will most definitely destroy this. Oh, lovely new potatoes, peas and asparagus. I've got another dish here from the book, Vegetables a la Grecque. So guys, what are you waiting for? Get involved, have a go. Please look out for the book. But for now, crew, tuck in! Thanks, you left me the asparagus.